Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here in Eat Sleep Reef. The new tank, guys, is here. Had the tank for I'd say about a week, no, about 2 weeks probably now. Just been slowly piecing it together. So in this video, what I want to do, I want to introduce the new tank. I want to let you guys know what it is and why I'm doing it. So firstly, it is a 50-gallon Mode Aquarium Infinity Series tank. We're going to have another future video really talking about all the details in the tank. To really sum it up, the Infinity Series has an overflow on the outside of the box, not on the inside. So in this video, we're going to be showing you guys how to put this beautiful tank, aluminum stand, and removable side panels all together. So I think you guys are in for a really good treat. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching this video are saying, wait, hold up. You're doing a 50-gallon tank? What the heck's going on with you? Well, my previous tank was a JBJ 45 that held about 30 gallons of water. You know, once you had the rock, the sand, obviously never had a sump. I'm still deciding on my home that I'll be purchasing for my family. We don't know if we want to stay in California, have a custom home, but we don't know what we want to do. So last thing I want to do is set up a 100-gallon plus tank and have to tear it down in the next year or so. Because as you guys know, that would not be a good ordeal. So I figured, why not continue with experimenting, continue with the great content, and get something that has a sump. Because you guys know my JBJ never had a sump. So I've really never been able to experiment. There's a lot more things I want to try out. Believe it or not, one thing that I'm very eager to try out is the Triton method. So the Triton method, for you guys that aren't aware, it's just a way to set up a tank that you never do any water changes. It's all based off ICP testing, big refugium, no filter socks, so on and so forth. Again, I'll have a video on that. So there's still a lot of testing I want to do, not only for myself, but as well for each and every one of you guys out there. So again, use my tank as an experiment to let you know if it works or doesn't work, right? That's what I pretty much did with the JBJ. It was just a tank to experiment for each and every one of you to let you know what works or doesn't work. Very simple. So that's why I went with a 50-gallon tank. The display itself is 50 gallons. The sump itself is 24 gallons. So it's about 74 gallons of water volume. So it's quite bigger than my 30-gallon I had before. But guys, let's get right into it. I'm gonna show you guys how to fully get this tank assembled, kind of make it look like this here. Let's jump right into the video. We've got the three bigger components here, obviously just missing the sump and the tank itself, but I do have the cabinet itself here for the 50-gallon Infinity Series. As you guys can see, I got the 50-gallon Infinity Series doors. These are pretty much the magnetic panels. I did get them in white. They are offered in black or white. Let's say, for instance, you buy the white one and later want to do the black one, you can purchase them separately, or vice versa. If you do the black ones out of the box and then you want to purchase the white ones, you can do that as well. As you can see, they come in their own packaging. And then lastly, we have the 50-gallon Infinity Series pipes. It's pretty much going to include all the UPVC, all the high-end plumbing, the gate valves, and everything that concerns as far as the 50-gallon. Now, I did all this work planning this setup, right? One thing I didn't plan for is how in the heck I'm going to get the tank upstairs. That's something I didn't account for, so I'm going to have to wait for my buddy to get home a little bit later and help me carry the tank up here. But in the meantime, I can get pretty much the cabinet itself built, get the doors on it, and obviously start kind of working on the pipe. So once you do got your box located with the stand, make sure you're careful, open it up, take away all the packaging, get all your parts out, get them laid out in a good area. We can see them all very easily, very cleanly. And let's get on to the assembly. So I got the stand here pretty much done up. You guys got to see me unbox it. The way it comes out of the box, you have the top portion here already assembled and the whole bottom base also fully assembled from the factory. All you got to do is get these side posts, pretty much align them with the corresponding letters, D with D, C with C, A with A, and 1 with 1. I think that's a 1 or an I. But anyways, just align them. Once you do got them aligned, make sure use a like a rubber mallet to hit it pretty hard to make sure they fully seat on the bottom, because they do fit kind of press fit on these plastic inserts. Once that is done, the next thing there is to do is you're going to notice a little baggie taped on here. So you're going to want to get all the screws out, and you're going to want to also get in there, you're going to get one of these. So this is a drill bit. You're probably going to need a drill, and you're going to have to drill the bottom holes where you see those already have the screws put in. So on this is how it looks without the screws put in here on the very top. So on these guys, you're going to have to obviously drill a hole on the inside to get the hole started, and then you're going to put this screw right in there. You can see I've already done it to the bottom one just to give you guys an example. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is for you guys not to use the drill for this, because these are going into the plastic inserts, and they don't need to be crazy tightened. So a screwdriver will work, or if you are using a drill, just don't over tighten them. They just kind of got to fit snug, as you can see here. Now on all the top ones, you're going to have to remove the bracket, because when the bracket's on, you have no access. Let me see if I can show it. You have no access to the, no, this one doesn't go there. This one goes here. Yeah, you have no access to the hole itself. So it blocks the hole, as you can see, being blocked there and blocked there. So you are going to have to remove the brackets to put on the top ones, and again, make sure they fully seat 100%. Another nice thing I did like about this stand, you know, I've helped people set up tanks in the past. Guys, this stand, I'm not even joking, you took me 5 minutes to assemble. That was really it. Another great feature I like, guys, these guys don't weigh anything. Let me show you what I mean by that. 2 fingers, the whole stand, you can fully lift it, and believe me guys, I'm not that strong. So very nice, you know, lightweight, very, very durable. I mean, this thing is not moving at all. The only reason you see this movement is because I haven't adjusted the rubber legs on the bottom. But other than that, that completes the stand. Obviously, you can put your doors on, kind of get in your final location, make sure it's nice and level, and you should be ready to accept the tank. So one of the last pieces to assembling the whole stand is going to be, you're going to notice there's a plastic, I don't know if it's acrylic, but there's a plastic top piece. I don't think it's acrylic. Honestly, I think it's like ABS plastic because it's pretty flexible. Anyways, there's a piece left over that goes on the very top, and you're going to notice indentations. Obviously, I've already screwed these in, but you're going to notice indents. So these indents are, you know, use the provided drill bit they give you. Just get a drill and literally just drill a hole right into it. Make sure you get it as square as you can on every corner, so you know it's you know, it fits the way it should, and it's not off, you know, off center or anything of that sort. Other than that, it should be very straightforward. Again, make sure you get them all in. The good thing is they do provide you with the drill bit, and then just using a screwdriver to screw them in. This is going to make sure that the whole setup is not only you know, strong this way, but it's also strong in, you know, anti-twisting, and really makes it as rigid as possible. With the stand fully done up, once you're happy with it, you got everything taken care of, you're gonna want to locate your box with the panels. Be very careful with these panels, guys. These are going to be your kind of final product, with the final thing people see. So last thing you want to do is scratch them. Make sure you do unpackage those. You're also going to notice they do come with these small little plastic kind of screw-ons. You can look at them a little bit closer here. So these guys, are going to notice they have a thread. You want to thread them in. There's 2 per panel, so 2, 4, 6 of them total. You want to thread them in. Nothing too crazy, guys. Just hand tighten them. At the beginning, be a little bit easy because they are plastic. You don't want to strip them, so just be easy. Once the threads grab on, you're going to notice it screws in very easily and very seamlessly. Once you got that fully done up, you can really enjoy the final look of the stand, guys. I don't know about you, but this is probably one of the cleanest looking stands out on the market. I think they did a great job with these panels. They're just really nice. Obviously, here in this video you're seeing, I went with the white panels. If you want to go with the black panels, you can order the black ones. If for any reason, like myself, I moved to somewhere that has all black furniture, you can actually buy the panels by themselves. So you can switch from black to white, you know, if ever you do change your furniture, to ultimately keep the wife happy. So now with the stand there fully assembled that you guys just saw, the last part is going to be obviously to, excuse me, pretty much get the tank ready. So that's very simple. Obviously, be sure to do a good job of inspecting it. These things are shipped, and obviously no one has any control of USPS or FedEx, you know, or how they want to take care of it, or not take care of it. So just be sure to inspect it, make sure you got no cracks. If you do, contact wherever you purchased it. If directly from Mode, reach out to them, and they'll get you sorted out. So you want to start by obviously removing all this. One of the good things that I was able to see, I kind of removed this ahead of time because I wanted to inspect it. But anyways, you're gonna notice it's pretty well packed. Mine, again, I had opened it previously very quickly to give it a quick inspection, which is why you see some of this foam here broken. But do your best to set it aside. Get as much as the styrofoam here out of the way. But again, it's a good thing to see here that the way it comes packed here right out of the Mode's factory is very, very well, and you can tell they're doing their best to make sure you get a stellar product and nothing less than a stellar product. So you're going to see here the tank itself. You can see the overflow is already installed right here in the back. Next, you have obviously your sump, which is located there, and you also have this foam. This is the foam that's going to sit on the very top there, kind of cushioning the tank. So make sure you don't throw that away. I know a lot of people throw those away thinking it's just for transportation, but it's not. It's actually for the tank to sit on. So I'm gonna get all this taken out, take the sump out. One thing I wanna recommend, guys, before you go ahead and put the tank on the stand, be sure you do as much of the plumbing, get as much of the plumbing ready, because once you put this on the stand, even though it's not super, super heavy, it's not as easier to set up, especially if you're doing the Mode 75, 100, or 135. Do as much as the plumbing as you can, because once you get the tank on the stand, it's going to get a little bit more difficult. Got the sump all out. Babe, so got the sump all out. Obviously got the whole thing unpackaged. You're going to notice it does have some foam on the bottom. You want to leave that. That's obviously made there to cushion it and to keep the sump off from the bottom. So make sure you leave that on the bottom. I guess if it really bugs you and you want to take it off, by all means you can take it off. But so here's the sump itself. You're going to notice right off the bat, Mode Aquariums did a great job on including what a lot of tanks out there, especially tanks that are ready to go out of the box, are really not included anymore. It's pretty sad to see. And that's a refugium section. The refugium section in here, guys, is ridiculous. I believe it's a 10.5 by 10.5. So it's really, really big. So obviously the way it works, before I get it in the tank, I want to show you guys some quick dimensions. So I do have the tape. So you have your main, your drains come into here. They go all the way to the top, and then they overflow here on the 4-inch sock. If you're like me and you don't like socks, you can go ahead and use the 4-inch cups. That can certainly be put in there. You can obviously put media in there, and then it overflows and comes up through here and then drains here in the skimmer section. So I know a lot of you guys watching out there are wondering, so what's the dimensions on the skimmer section? Well, this one here is 7, looks to be 7, it's about 7.25 by 6. So 7.25 by 6. Mode Aquarium's actually designed this for their skimmer. Their skimmer, as you guys know, I've used them in the past, the TIA 110. It works great right in here. More than enough for a 50-gallon tank. Or anything else. If you don't want that, you can try and fit anything else in this chamber here. So followed by that, we have the Fuge. This here is a 10.5 by 10.5. I mean, guys, that is huge. Let's say if you don't want to run a Fuge here, you can obviously put your skimmer here, put your reactors here, and just put a lot of rock here, or whatever else you want to put here in this chamber. I guess if you really even wanted to make this a Fuge, you could as well. Just off, you may need to block out the bottom so nothing makes it out. So it's very versatile in whatever you want to do. If you want to make a little frag rack section, this here would be perfect. So you can put your skimmer here, make a frag rack here. I mean, a 10 by 10, guys, it's not huge, but hey, I guarantee you'll be able to fit some corals in here. Obviously, it does have fully controllable water level, so you can raise or lower the water level here through this gate. Let me loosen it up all the way. See, the gate goes down, the gate goes up. Quite a bit of adjustability. And then finally it comes in here to the return section. Now the return section, again guys, it's a very big compartment considering this size tank. So this here is 6 1/4 by 10 1/2, a little bit over 10, like 10 5/8. So it's a very big area. You won't have any issues putting a return here, even putting a reactor here. I mean, the one thing I loved that they did is they made it very big. More importantly, a huge refugium section for you guys out there. And so the next step here is obviously to get it in the stand. You kind of can't get it in from the front or the side without removing these bad boys here. Obviously through the rear, you can fit it right in. So if you want, you can fit it in through the rear, or if you want to put it in through here, you just have to remove these bad boys there. Got the stand in. The method I used to get it in, I actually put it in from the rear. But again, if you want to get it in from the front or the side, just remove these bad boys and it'll slip right in. Obviously, once you have the tank in and you want to do maintenance, the only way to get it out is going to be to remove these bad boys. You don't need to remove these, just make sure you're aware of them so you don't run into them, and just obviously lift it enough to clear those. But this is how it looks, guys. Obviously, I just have one side panel in, but you can see a great looking setup. You know, this is just stand and sump itself. You don't have too much room, as you guys can see here in the stand. Obviously, if you want to put everything kind of to one corner, you kind of can. You can force it to this corner. That'll give you a little bit more room here. You can clearly fit some dosing stuff in this section. You can even fit a doser here standing up, have your containers down on the bottom. So you can easily fit stuff there. You still got some room here. Obviously, if you want to push the sump itself all the way to the rear, you can get more space here in the front. So there's different ways you can kind of run this to make room in whatever way you want. Obviously, if you don't really care for that much room, you can pretty much just center it and have equal space all around. But depending on your setup and what you're gonna do, what I would probably do is put it back to one corner, just so it gives you more space here in the front, as well as more space on the side. Like I said, you can easily fit some dosing containers here, like the Red Sea stuff, or you know, the Fritz stuff that I'm gonna be using will fit right up into here. The doser mounted here. I'm also considering putting a back panel on it, just so obviously I can mount stuff, because again, these panels, all the panels are 100% removable, unless of course you want to make one kind of permanent and just mount stuff on it. By all means, you're more than welcome to do that. So, I don't know about you guys, but I love, as much as I love admiring fish and corals, I love admiring sumps, stands, just the overall fit and finish of a tank. And guys, Moto Aquarium's really got it locked down. Just check this out. All aluminum stand. Look at that finish, guys, with the removable panels to easy service your sump. Got a beautiful glass with acrylic accent sump with plenty of space. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fully in love with this setup. So in preparation to set the tank, you're gonna want to locate your foam piece here. This is intended, and you'll see with a lot of tanks, if for any reason you don't level the stand properly, this is supposed to still be able to support the tank. So be sure you don't throw it away. It's not part of the packaging. It's actually a critical piece, part of the tank as far as support. So when you do install it, you're going to notice it's very difficult, if you've ever tried to put these on, to align it with the tank. So one way that I found out is very simple, guys. Hot glue it. I used hot glue. You can also do double-sided tape, but you can see there's no way this mat is going to move anywhere. I pretty much put a bead of glue going like this in sections, obviously, so it didn't dry out. I did this section first, then this, and finally this. And you can see there's really no way to get it off. I mean, if I really wanted to, I can take it off and you know, reposition it. But very simple, straightforward. You're going to notice it comes in a little bit big for Moto Aquariums, which is fine. I'd actually rather it be too big than too small. That's not what she said. I'm just kidding. But anyways, you're gonna wanna kind of use one of the sides for reference. So what I did, I put it up against that side there, and then I left the excess on here, and on here, and make absolutely sure you get a brand new razor blade. So the brand new razor blade is gonna allow you to cut very clean lines, make them look very crisp. So later when you do install the tank, you know, you don't have no jagged and crazy nasty lines from cutting it. So you're going to want to open your last box. They pretty much is going to contain all your plumbing parts. So in my specific tank, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces. You may have a little bit more, you may have a little bit less, because certain pieces may be attached to others, which will obviously be less parts. But this is the total plumbing here. So the main return is being done through this 1.25 inches, and then the return back into the tank is being done through, shoot, I'm not sure what side. I think this is 3. It looks to be about 3/4 inch. So a little bit later, I'm going to show you guys how to set it up on the tank itself. One thing, guys, when doing plumbing, you want to make sure you have access to the tank. You don't want to put it and then you don't have access to do any of the plumbing. So be sure you have access. Typically, what I like to do when you're doing plumbing is kind of turn the tank on its back, so you're able to work on the whole back section. Make sure you glue it, and you should be good from there. So gluing this is going to be very straightforward. It's just going to be standard PVC glue. I like to use the clear stuff. Why? Because obviously it's clear and doesn't look nasty. A good idea is going to be to lay out all your plumbing parts kind of as they're going to sit in the tank. This will allow you to assemble them properly outside, obviously with a lot more room. More importantly, give you a better idea on how it should go installed once you got it close to the tank. If any of you guys out there are using my video to assemble your motor aquarium tanks, I suggest you look at the previous clip, probably pause it, because all the tanks essentially kind of have the same plumbing, and it's kind of done the same way. So, it has a main drain, an emergency drain, and then 2 return drains. So the way I'm doing it here, I'm obviously starting with the main and the return, getting those threaded on. Guys, on any part like this PVC that has O-rings, make sure the O-ring is sitting in the right place. Make sure it's not getting kinked up in any weird way. Last thing you want to do is induce any type of leaking now or in the future. So make sure the O-ring's sitting in the right place. Like I said, the way I'm doing it, I'm starting with the main and the emergency, getting those routed in. You may have to remove some pieces and add others in certain places like I did here to make sure they fit in properly. One thing I'm gonna recommend, guys, is to dry fit everything first. Make sure you're happy with it, you're happy with the positioning, everything, because once you glue this down, you won't be able to remove it. If you guys have ever glued PVC, you know once you glue it, you're done. There's no messing around with it. So do a dry fit, make sure you're comfortable with it, make sure you're happy. If you want to add, a union or anything you want to do, make sure you add it at this point. Another point I want to give you guys, motor aquariums although they do give you all this plumbing, they do use metric plumbing. Being metric plumbing is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to find anything in the US. So for you guys out there that want to add unions or add manifolds, you're going to have to go to brs.com, and I have a link in the description, and buy the metric to inch conversion couplers for PVC. Again, in my specific setup, I really saw no need to add for anything. They give you a high-end gate valve, high-end unions, high-end UPVC. I saw no need to do it. I love the color, but if you're out there, maybe you want to change the color scheme, you want to add manifold or something of that sort, like I said, I'm gonna have a link in the description with the metric to inch conversions on the couplers if you guys do want to change those out. So once you do have everything glued, it's kind of gonna look like this. If there's ever a time you guys are going to be thankful for having an external overflow, it's going to be right about now. Look at how no real estate is taken inside the tank. Everything's being run through the rear. It again leaves for more real estate inside the tank. And you're going to really appreciate the plumbing they give you guys. It's all high-end gate valves, high-end unions, high-end everything. Being UPVC, it's a lot higher grade than our standard, even Schedule 40, Schedule 80 PVC. If you guys haven't done any research, be sure to check out and read up on UPVC. It's actually what's used a lot in Europe, unlike here. Pretty much all there's going to be to do now is just install your return pump, your skimmer, and any equipment. I am going to have a video on that here in the near future. But yeah, I think we can pretty much wrap this video up. I'm very happy with it now. I'm probably waiting for a few more things to fill it up with water. So of course I'll have a video showing you guys that. So stay tuned for that video as well. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, pretty much assembling this tank. I don't know if you guys saw there, but the aluminum stand, the removable panels, the plumbing they give you, the sump, it's a great value for what you're getting. So I highly urge you guys to check out motoraquariums.com. I have a link in the description. They have a 50 gallon, a 70 gallon, a 100 gallon, a 135. As you see it here, the tanks included overflow, plumbing, sump, aluminum stand. What else can you ask for, guys? A sump with a big refugium? I mean, you don't even see that nowadays. For you to get a big refugium, you got to do a custom sump. So big shout out to Mode Aquariums for really listening and taking a lot of input, not only from myself, but from other people that were helping them develop it. Great job all in all. It's gonna be a great journey, guys. This tank, I haven't released the plans for it yet. I'm gonna be releasing very shortly. There's gonna be an aquascaping video, quite a bit more videos. Where on the JBJ, I didn't go quite into depth into why I do things a certain way, but this build series, we are gonna have that. So guys, be sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you'd like to see done with this 50 gallon Mode Aquarium. Love to hear it down in the comment box below. Any other questions, comments, or concerns, you know where to put them. If I earned a subscription, hopefully I did, great. Hit that subscribe button. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. I thank each and every one of you very much for watching. As always, happy reefing.